Harry took the wand. Harry took the wand. He felt a sudden warmth in his fingers. He raised the wand above his head, brought it swishing down through the dusty air, and a stream of red and gold sparks shot from the end like a firework, throwing dancing spots of light onto the walls. Hagrid whooped and clapped, and Mr. Ollivander cried, "Oh, bravo! Yes, indeed! Oh, very good! Well, well, well! How curious! How very curious!" He put Harry's wand back into its box and wrapped it in brown paper, still muttering, "Curious, curious." "Sorry," said Harry, "but what's curious?" Mr. Ollivander fixed Harry with his pale stare. "I remember every wand I've ever sold, Mr. Potter. Every single wand. It so happens that the phoenix, whose tail feather is in your wand, gave another feather, just one other. It is very curious, indeed, that you should be destined for this wand when its brother, why, its brother gave you that scar." It is our choices, Harry, that show us what we really are, far more than our abilities. It is our choices that show us what we really are, far more than our abilities. It takes a great deal of bravery to stand up to your enemies, but far more to stand up to your friends. It takes bravery to stand up to your enemies, but far more to stand up to your friends. of a name increases fear of the thing itself. Fear of a name increases fear of the thing itself. Of course it is happening all inside your head, Harry. But what is to say that means it is not real? To the well-organized mind, death is but the next great adventure. To the well-organized mind, death is but the next great adventure. Realizing that a lot of these quotes are from Albus Dumbledore because he's just a legend. Who's your favorite Harry Potter character? Mine is Hermione. You're a little scary sometimes, you know that? Brilliant, but scary. Bloody hell. Got all wrong, Weasley. If you want to know what a man is truly like, look at the way he treats his inferiors, not his equals. Look at the way he treats his inferiors, not his equals. I solemnly swear that I am up to no good. I solemnly swear that I am up to no good. not always in the way we expect. Things have a way of coming back to us, not always in the way we expect. We've all got both light and dark inside of us. What matters is the part we choose to act on. That's who we really are. You're really good with it, Harry. I'm gonna read a little bit more Harry Potter, and then I'm gonna conclude this video. I hope you've enjoyed it. It was on the corner of the street that Mr. Dursley noticed the first sign of something peculiar. A cat reading a map. For a second, Mr. Dursley didn't realize what he had seen. Then he jerked his head to the ground again. There was a tabby cat standing on the corner of Privet Drive. But there wasn't a map in sight. What could he have been thinking of? It must have been a trick of the light. Mr. Dursley blinked and stared at the cat. It stared back. As Mr. Dursley drove around the corner and up the road, he watched the cat in his mirror. It was now reading the sign that said Privet Drive. No, looking at the sign. Cats couldn't read maps or signs. Mr. Dursley gave himself a little shake and put the cat out of his mind. As he drove toward town, he thought of nothing except a large order of drills. He was hoping to get that day. But on the edge of town, drills were driven out of his mind by something else. As he sat in the usual morning traffic jam, he couldn't help noticing that there seemed to be a lot of strangely dressed people about. People in cloaks. Mr. Dursley couldn't bear people who dressed in funny clothes, the get-ups you saw on young people. He supposed this was some stupid new fashion. He drummed his fingers on the steering wheel, and his eyes fell on a huddle of these weirdos standing close by. They were whispering excitedly together. Mr. Dursley was enraged to see that a couple of them weren't young at all. Why, that man had to be older than he was, and wearing an emerald green cloak. The nerve of him. But then it struck Mr. Dursley that this was probably some silly stunt. These people were obviously collecting for something. Yes, that would be it. The traffic moved on, and a few minutes later, Mr. Dursley arrived in the Grunnings parking lot.